Hey everyone, before we dive into one of the craziest secrets of our planet, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Nosy. Today we're talking about something so massive, so powerful, and yet so slow that most people don't even realize it's happening. Mountains are moving. But here's the real question. Why? What's pushing them? Do they ever stop? Could two mountains crash into each other? And if Earth's crust is always shifting, could the entire planet look completely different in the future? Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see the ground beneath your feet. First off, let's start with the basics. Why do mountains move? You might think of Earth as a solid rock, but in reality it's more like a gigantic floating puzzle. The crust isn't just one single piece. It's broken into massive plates, called tectonic plates, that are constantly shifting on top of a hotter, semi-molten layer called the mantle. But here's the weird part. If these plates are moving, why aren't we feeling it? Well, they move extremely slowly, at about the same speed that your fingernails grow. But over millions of years, that tiny movement adds up, reshaping the entire planet. Now let's talk about collision. What happens when two plates smash into each other? You'd expect them to just stop, right? But no, instead of stopping, they fold, bend, and rise, creating mountains. That's how the Himalayas were formed. When the Indian plate crashed into the Eurasian plate, the land buckled upward, forming the tallest mountains on Earth. But here's the mind-blowing part. This collision is still happening. The Himalayas are rising by about 5 millimeters every year, meaning that Mount Everest is actually getting taller.
But wait, if plates can move toward each other, can two mountains ever crash into each other? Technically, no. Mountains don't travel like cars on a highway. Instead, they're more like giant wrinkles on Earth's skin. The plates beneath them push, pull, and grind, but mountains themselves are stuck to these plates. So rather than two mountains colliding, the land underneath keeps shifting, slowly changing the shape of entire continents. This brings up another big question. What happens under a mountain? If two plates push together and form a mountain, doesn't that leave an empty space underneath? Nope. Earth doesn't allow giant holes to exist under mountains. When plates push together, the material beneath them gets compressed, melted, or even recycled back into the mantle. That's why when one plate sinks under another, the rock melts and sometimes erupts as a volcano. Speaking of volcanoes, let's answer another burning question. Why do volcanoes even exist? If you've ever wondered why some places on Earth are peaceful while others are full of fiery eruptions, it all comes down to pressure and heat. Deep inside Earth, the mantle is constantly moving, carrying heat from the planet's core. When a plate slides under another, it melts, and that magma forces its way up through cracks, creating a massive explosion of fire, lava, and gas. That's why places like Iceland, Japan, and Hawaii have so many active volcanoes. They sit right on top of major tectonic boundaries. Now, let's get even crazier. If Earth's interior is so hot, why isn't the surface burning? Shouldn't we all be melting? Well, the crust acts like a shield, trapping the heat inside. But here's something even weirder. Some of that heat does escape. Have you ever noticed steam rising from cracks in the ground, or hot springs where water boils from below? That's Earth releasing its internal heat little by little. Without this slow release, pressure would build up and cause even more extreme volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. But what about the big picture? Could the continents ever drift back to their original positions? Believe it or not, scientists think it's possible. About 300 million years ago, all the continents were part of a supercontinent called Pangaea. Then the plates slowly pulled apart, creating the continents we have today. But since the movement hasn't stopped, scientists predict that in another 200 to 300 million years, the continents might merge again into a new supercontinent. Imagine a future where New York and Africa are connected, or where Australia crashes into Asia. The world we know today is only a temporary snapshot in Earth's long history. And finally, let's tackle one of the biggest questions. will mountains ever disappear? The answer is yes and no. While some mountains are still growing, others are slowly being eroded by wind, rain, and glaciers. The Appalachians in North America were once as tall as the Himalayas, but millions of years of erosion have worn them down into rolling hills. So, over millions of years, today's tallest mountains might shrink, and new ones will rise in their place. So, what does this all mean for Earth's future? Will mountains keep moving forever?
Will the continents keep shifting? Could the entire planet look unrecognizable millions of years from now? The answer is absolutely yes. Earth is always changing, right now, right beneath your feet. And if you could fast forward through millions of years, you'd see a planet that looks completely different from the one we live on today. All right, everyone, if you found this video mind-blowing, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Nosy for more incredible science facts. Who knows, maybe in a few million years, someone will be watching this video from a completely different-looking Earth.